Hello, today we are going to start discussion on metallic bond, donor of electron. Why are they donor of electron? Because as we move from the top of periodic table along the period I am concerned with, when you move from the top of periodic or top of a group to the bottom, as soon as you are moving from top to bottom, when you move from top to bottom, the reactivity increases and the ability of element D and the ability of element to donate the electron to give up the electron increases. Likewise, when it comes to when you move from left hand side of the table to the right hand side of the table, the reactivity decreases, because when you are moving from top to bottom, from left hand side to the right hand side, the elements of the like ability of an element to remove the electron or to donate the electron decreases, because when we move from left hand side to the right hand side, the electronegativity increases. Elements begin to accept the electron. Since first three groups, group number 1 to 3, when we were moving from top to bottom, the reactivity was increasing from top to bottom. When we move from the left side to the right side, the reactivity decreases, because the reactivity or the metallic character, probably the ability to donate the electron, decreases, because elements are not going to donate the electron. When they are not donating electron, they are the electron acceptors, so their ability to accept electron increases. And you can say that when you move from the left hand side of the table to the right hand side of the table, the metallic character decreases but the non-metallic character increases. The nature of the metallic bonding is that a metallic bonding is that type of bonding in which element should be donating electron. There should be free movement or availability of the electron. The delocalized electrons are excessive in number. The greater is the number of delocalized electron, the greater will be the ability of an element to donate the electron and to conduct electricity and etc. So the first physical property of element is that they have higher melting point temperature, because they require higher melting temperature to remove electron from them or for changing their shape. Okay, they are good conductor of electricity because they are the donor of electrons. When something is able to donate the electron, its ability to conduct electricity, its ability to conduct heat will be directly proportional to that tendency, because that thing is donating electron. It is donating electron keep on moving, they keep on moving here and there, they would be good conductor of electricity. Likewise, they are also the good thermal conductors. Why are they good thermal conductors and all that? Because they are the free electron inside them are the greater they will have the ability to conduct the heat as well. Malleability and ductility is that when you simply beat an element with a hammer, you are able to like disturb the shape of that particular metal, like taking that beaten up metal and further converting it into the different shapes, particularly in the shapes of wire, is called as ductility. So for an element being ductile is that it should be malleable as well. Like first you have to beat it, then you have to convert it into different shapes, particularly in the shapes of wire. This is called as ductility. Any theory of the way that the atoms in a metal are bonded together, they must explain the properties. Like they should be donor of electron. If it is a metal, it is its responsibility to donate the electron. If it is a metal, it should be able to conduct electricity. It should be thermal conductor. Malleability, ductility are must to be present in that particular element. Okay, metals typically have one or three electrons in their outermost shell, but they are not concerned majorly with that thing. The basic property of metal is that they must be able to donate the electron. The greater the metal they are, the greater the donor they should be. Obviously, when we move from top to bottom, there's a rough general trend that when we move from the top of the periodic table or from the top of the group to the bottom of that table, or a group, the metallic character increases. Why? Because elements are going to donate the electron. Okay, so when it comes to group number 1, they contain 1 electron in their outermost shell. This is of group number 1. When it comes to group number 2, they are donating 2 electrons, and so is the group number 3. Aluminium is the best example that it is donating 3 electrons from its outermost shell. Okay, likewise, general trend is that metals are having low ionization energies, because we don't have to put that massive amount of energy to remove electron from them, so we don't have to apply higher amount of energy. That is why they contain lower ionization energies. The electrical conductivity of a metal generally increases as the number of outer shell electron increases. The electrical conductivity of metal increases. Why? Because their outermost shell electrons are higher. The more electrons are released from the structure, or the more electrons are to be they are to be donated from the outermost shell of an element, the higher the conductive that element will be, because the metals are donor of electron. As soon as they are donating electron, this tendency is directly proportional to their ability for being conductor. Since electrical conductivity depends upon the presence of the mobile carriers of an electric charge, we can build a picture etc. So basically here comes the delocalized electron. There we can see here are certain structures present: positive, negative, positive. Generally, this is the most general trend of being donating electron, like elements are giving up their electrons, is that positive when a metal is placed in a row. Maybe it's a sodium. When you place sodium in a row, it is nature of sodium that it is going to donate its electron. When sodium is donating electron from its outermost shell, it resides nearby this one, although they keep on moving here and there and here and there. When sodium have donated an electron, it is also its sodium, because it is donating electron, it will be getting the disturbance in the number of electron it is carrying. When it is disturbed by the number of electrons carrying, positive and negative charge disturb, number of electron fall, number of proton increases. So sodium is going to donate the electron, and when it is donating electron, disturbance in positive and negative charges took place. Sodium is now a cation, electron is out of it, and this way positively charged sodium is attracting electron, and due to this tendency they are attracting each other strongly, as well as this will lead to the generation of energy, and this is called as the metallic bonding or metallic conductivity. Explaining the special properties of metals. First property among them is metallic melting temperature. In order to melt a metal, it is necessary to partially remove or partially overcome the forces of attraction between the cation and the delocalized electron to such an extent that the cations are free to move around the structure. Since we have seen that metals will donate their own electron, after donating electron will surround them or might be stay nearby them. After that tendency, since there is a disturbance in positive and negative charges, metal is going to attract its own electron that will produce some energy. Likewise, they are recalling the same thing. Metals have a giant lattice structure where many of these forces must be overcome. Those metals which are bigger, or they are like we have to attach them in the bulks for different like massive to do massive metallic conductivity. Simply in that case, donation is must. The energy required to do this is usually very hard, so that is why they are having higher melting temperature. Let's say I place trillions of sodium in a bulk to make that metallic conductivity. Obviously, that would be first we have to apply that a huge amount of energy to remove electron from that particular metal. Later on, although that will be beneficial, that I only have to remove electron from them, but they are conducting electricity. But first I have to apply the higher melting temperature. The number of delocalized electron per cation plays an important part in determining the melting temperature. First thing is that group number 1 metal have a low melting temperature, because group number 2 contain have a higher melting temperature. Metals in the D block typical have a higher melting temperature because they have much more delocalized electron. So the greater the delocalized electrons are, the greater conductivity they will be doing, and as well as the higher the melting point they will have. Simply the like donation of electron is directly proportional to the conductivity, and it is directly proportional to the melting temperature of any metal. Another factor that affects that melting temperature is the charge to radius ratio of a cation, like how much size it is having on it. That will be also important. The greater the charge to ratio will be, the stronger the attractive forces will be. What is it actually, the charge to mass ratio? It is simply the donation the metals are doing, the electrons they are removing from them, the simply the smaller they will be. So there is a great ratio, like their ability to donate electron, like the smaller the mass is, the smaller the radius is, the greater the charge they will have. Just like in case of aluminium, let us say aluminium can donate 3 electron. One aluminium had donated 3 electron, the charge on it will be plus 3. When it is donating the 3 electrons, it will be aluminium plus 3. It means after donating 3 electrons, the size of the cation of aluminium will be even smaller. Now the smaller it is, the smaller the radius is, the greater the charge will be. Also, the stronger the attraction of the delocalized electron will be. Therefore, for two cations having the same charge, the smaller the cation will attract the delocalized electron more strongly. That is why we can say that melting point of lithium is greater than that of the sodium, because the charge to mass ratio of lithium is bigger while that of the sodium. The next point is that electrical conductivity, when a potential difference is applied across the across the ends of a metal, the delocalized electron will be attracted to and move towards the positive terminal of a cell that leads to conduct. I mean, like simply, electrical conductivity is when the donation of electron is greater. The bigger the number of electrons will be donated, the greater the conductivity will be. Simply, when you place metals in a row, they are donating electron, they are creating a potential difference. One thing is positive charge, other is partially charged, partially positive, other is partially negative. That is why electrical conductivity is greater and the flow of electron will be bigger. Likewise, the thermal conductivity is there. Two factors contribute to the ability of metals to transfer heat energy. The free moving delocalized electron pass the kinetic energy along the metals. The greater the electrons are moving, the greater the kinetic energy will be, because the kinetic energy is simply movement of electron. The elements, if moving, the electrons if moving with the greater speed, the bigger amount of kinetic energy they are carrying on them. So kinetic energy is directly proportional to the number of movement of electrons from a certain point, or frequency of electrons per second. Okay. Likewise, the cations are closely packed and pass kinetic energy from one cation to another. When we place a cation in a row, everybody is donating its electron. So when they are releasing electron, positive and negative electrons are attracting each other. That is how they are having energy between them. The conduction by the delocalized electron is by far the more significant of the two factors. Obviously, conduction is the basic requirement to be done by the metals. Likewise, when it comes to the malleability and ductility, metals can be hammered or pressed into the different shapes. This is called as malleability. Why is it so? Because metals, like in a general position, metals are placed in a row, just positive, negative are there. But if we apply pressure on them, if we hammer them, we are applying energy onto them. So we are disturbing their actual energy by actual position by putting some stresses onto them. So the layers of cations will be residing over onto the layer of electrons. Basically, positive and negative are attracting each other. the question could arrive that why there is a shine present in the metals. Basically, in their general state, metals are expected to be placed as positive and negative alternatively. But when we beat them, when we hammer them, their arrangement or their position is disturbed. Even when we are hammering them, they would show some sort of different kind of shine or colors. Why? Because sometimes positive and positive came across each other. That is a point when they will show some specific color or energy. When negative and negative came across, they would show some color. So that is how the colors are being displayed when they are placed along each other, or when they are
Hi everyone.
like
Today
the
we're diving into the
same
world of
charges even
metallic
attract
bonding.
each other. So
Metals have unique properties,
display
and
of
one of their
color is
most
shown.
remarkable features is how they bond with each other. Let's take a look at what makes metallic bonds so special and how this structure allows metals to conduct electricity. In metallic bonding, metal atoms are arranged in a regular pattern, forming a structure called a lattice. Instead of forming bonds with specific neighboring atoms like in ionic or covalent bonds, metal atoms release some of their outer electrons, creating a sea of electrons that move freely throughout the metal. This is why metals are malleable and ductile. They can bend and stretch without breaking because the electrons move and adjust to keep the atoms together. So, how does this explain electrical conductivity? Well, when a voltage is applied, the free-moving electrons in the sea of electrons start to flow. These electrons are what carry electrical current through the metal, similar to how water flows through a pipe. Since metals have so many free electrons, they are excellent conductors of electricity. This is why wires and electrical circuits are often made from metals like copper or aluminum. To wrap it up, metallic bonding creates a structure with free-moving electrons, which not only makes metals strong and flexible, but also allows them to conduct electricity so efficiently. This ability to carry charge is one of the reasons metals play such a vital role in our modern technology. Thanks for watching.